Okay, so let's stop talking tennis because I don't want you to get a downgrade by anybody that's sitting out there thinking you're not as into football as you need to be. You hearing that a lot?
Yeah.
Josh?
I mean, I think up until this point, it hasn't really bothered me. But if my thing was basically going to the combine and meeting all these teams personally, if any of these rumors and stuff persisted after this point, then it might bother me a little bit. But I'm not going to worry about people judging me that don't know me. I think if people actually did get to know me and continued to say those things, then it bothered me a little bit. But I think I've put my best foot out first at the combine, at these interviews, at my pro day, and I think that moving forward, teams are really going to know what the real Josh Rosen is all about.
Where do you think the rumors come from?
I don't really know. I mean, I was thrown in the spotlight really early at 18 years old. Had 3 full years of it at UCLA, and guys picking and prodding every single thing you do. I didn't really get any time to sit back and look at like a Brett Hundley a year ahead of me and kind of diagnose and sit and say, who do I want to be when this spotlight comes? And I didn't get that. You get thrown out there, and I think the West Coast and Southern California in particular saw me grow up and become who I am today. Live. We're live on TV.
We
here,
are live on and TV and radio. I mean, it's a simulcast.
Yeah,
Josh,
yeah. Don't want to shun them, but yeah. So I mean, basically, they saw me grow up. I made some mistakes, and but I'm glad I made those mistakes. It's an opportunity to grow and become the man that I am today.
Josh Rosen here on the Rich Eisen Show. What are those mistakes? What would you identify as the mistakes you made?
I've never broken the law or done anything with real substantial legal consequences like that. I was a kid. I did some stupid things. I put a hot tub in my dorm room.
Yeah, we heard about
media.
that. We heard about that.
Yeah.
That made you a legend, Josh. Don't let anyone tell you not. That made you a legend.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that the lessons with all these things, the F Trump had on the golf course is there's a time and place. I mean, I'm not going to change who I am on the inside. I'm going to be me. But you have to understand your audience. You have to understand who you're talking to. There's a time and place for everything. So trying to trim the fat a little bit. That's the expression I'm using, off the message, but still stay on message.
What about being coachable, Josh? That's been a question about you, that you're going to be the guy who always asks why instead of saying okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't have that 4.5 speed to just take off. I don't really have a get out of jail free card like that. So my thing is I'm going to get to the line of scrimmage, and I want to have runs through every single possible situation and scenario in my head before I snap the ball, just to make sure that regardless of what happens, there's always something to do and somewhere to go. I want to know the inside and outside of every play. I want to be my offensive coordinator's head on the field. And in terms of like whether coachability and whatnot, I think I'm not going to speak to my own character, who I am, but I think you just have to talk to my old coaches. I think they'll vouch for me very strongly. I mean, I've had a documented past with Trent Dilfer, but I think we've gotten along incredibly well up to this point now. And I think to get onto that aspect, I think you just got to talk to people who know me.
Now, we've had Trent on the show, and he said the same thing, that the two of you did not see eye to eye, get along, or you didn't really want to receive coaching from him, is the way I perceived it. Now, that might be my perception. But he said he's done a complete 180 on you, with you, and he even said to you, I mean, in effect, hey, I'm sorry it didn't work out at the very beginning. You're nodding your head. Would you agree with that? I
just don't think we got enough time together. I think if you want to get into the nitty gritty and get into a real deep relationship with someone and understand how it works. I mean, if you have an offensive coordinator, head coach, you're going through, even if you're only with someone for a year. I had 3 coordinators for a year, but you get to know them. The Elite 11, when we hung out in Portland, you don't really get to know each other very well. And I think maybe we just kind of didn't mesh very well at first. But I mean, we got to know each other better after that. We spent more time together, and I think he really understood who I am, and I really got to understand him, and I think our relationship's a lot stronger because of it.
One more thing that I want to hit on with you that I've heard as a narrative about your prospects in the NFL that is a so-called red flag, and that is that you come from a family of means, and that you in the NFL won't be as diehard of a professional or try as hard as you possibly can because you've got a fallback position in life. How do you respond to something like that?
I think this thing is kind of blown up. I mean, if anything, I think that would show my real love for the game is that I don't actually need it. I'm voluntarily putting I dropped out of school, had to convince my parents to drop out of college to pursue this full time. I want to be great at this. I didn't want to. That's basically why I'm becoming a professional. I wanted to put all of my time into this and see how good I could really be. And the fact that I don't actually need this, I think, actually shows the true passion that I have for this game. I mean, I love this game. I gave up tennis for it because I craved the team atmosphere. I wanted to be involved in something bigger than yourself. In tennis or golf, you have fans that are rooting for you as a person, whereas it's cool to be attached to something bigger. I mean, you throw a touchdown at the Rose Bowl, and you can turn to your sideline and see 120 of your immediate best friends that you're like affecting their lives in a positive way directly. You're looking at administration, coaches, fans, that you're making their day. And I think that's what gets me going about football. Football's the ultimate team sport. The better team doesn't always win. It's not a basketball best-of-7 series. It's one game. Anything can happen, and I think it's a really cool relationship you have with your teammates and your coaches to go out there and basically let it rip and see how it goes.
So you've never been in a huddle, Josh Rosen. 3rd and 1, game on the line, clock ticking down. Look your teammates in the face and say, let's execute. And if we don't, my dad's got a 401k. That's never happened. No.
That has never happened.
Hey, everybody, my dad's got a 401k on too. Break. I mean, to me, when I hear that, in all honesty, I think, what in the hell is the matter with people in the NFL if they say the kid has other interests, the kid has a head on his shoulders, the kid comes from means, so he's not going to want it as much as somebody who doesn't. That makes zero.
I mean, there are
sense to me.
tons of people in professional football currently that don't need it. I'm just okay to say something about it and say that some people play this game because we love this game, not because it's our paycheck to provide for our families. And that's why I think I'm in a unique position to where I'd said things in college and moving forwards we'll say and do things for the betterment of society and people in general, not just to ensure my paycheck.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.